This is going to be a story about a horrific team that I joined. Not because of the game that I was playing, League of Legends. It was horrific because of the house I was living in. I had just finished high school. I was intelligent. I got great grades. And I decided to become a professional League of Legends player and see if I could make money that way. I played for a team called the Dire Cubs, and they were an academy team. And we had a really good roster, which we performed really well in the second league. So much so well that I caught the eye of main level teams in the OPL. And the OPL is the big league here in Australia where you actually start making some money. I got picked up by a main stage team. And the reason I got picked up by this main stage team was because they were 8th place. And them being 8th place meant that their team could get relegated, because if you came last in the OPL, you get kicked out from the entire competition. So what they saw was me coming out of high school, doing well in the second league, and they said, we're going to take a gamble on this udysof kid, and we're going to try bring him to the main OPL roster. I'm super excited. I've been playing League at this time for about 6 months on a pretty decent second grade team, but going to the first grade level gives me a lot of prospects for my future. Obviously, it gives me more money, and it was just a damn exciting part of my career, because most people, they don't really get the opportunity as fast as I did. I get picked up to play for this OPL roster, and I am getting shipped off to the house in a week. And this is kind of where the horror story starts. I find out the house is not actually in Sydney. This team house was very far out of Sydney, because it's way cheaper to live that far out of Sydney. They're already in the OPL. You're not getting paid that much to play esports. Like, no esports player is getting much money in Australia, but they can also keep the cost of living down by having a house an hour and a half out of the city. So this is where I started to get the heebie-jeebies with this team, because obviously they're cutting corners here and there. They're trying to save money. And when you're trying to be a top-tier esports performer, it's not a good omen. The day arrives where I have packed my things and it is time to go to the esports house, all the way out in the middle of nowhere. And my friend Ricky, he drove me all the way out to this house. And you can see that I'm a little bit concerned, because all the conversations I've had have been okay, but at the same time, it's been a little bit fishy. It doesn't fill me with a huge amount of confidence. And going from the heart of Sydney with the academy team that I was playing with, by the way, who were based in the heart of the city, this is the academy level. This main level roster team is out in the middle of nowhere. But anyways, I was excited to be able to play for a top tier team. So I get there. It takes us about an hour and a half, and we're starting to get to the area, and we're on a highway, and then we quickly turn off, and it turns into a bunch of trees. And we turn left, more trees. We turn right, another small street with a bunch of trees. We keep turning down these windy pathways for about 15 minutes till we come to a cul-de-sac. And we drive down to the end of the cul-de-sac, and I'm peering my head out the car looking left. Oh wow, there's a crack dungeon there. We look right. Oh wow, that house is basically burnt to the ground. And at the end of the cul-de-sac is 3 brightly built brand new houses, and the one in the middle is our team house. So I get pretty excited because we're surrounded by these shithole houses, but our house, the team house, actually looks pretty damn nice, and it looks like it was freshly renovated. There's trees everywhere, and we're in the middle of a forest, but the house itself looks actually kind of bougie. Definitely looks nicer than the house that I live in myself. So we get up to the front door, and I knock, and I go, and there's no answer. No one's there. And at the time, I had coordinated with the team manager that I was going to be arriving. I told them exactly the time I was going to be there, and no one was there to answer the door. But I put my ear up to the door, and I can hear clicking, keyboard clicks. I can hear. I'm a little bit concerned, the hairs on my arms are sticking up a little bit. I'm in the middle of nowhere, but there's mechanical keyboards, so I'm safe. So eventually, after waiting about 2 minutes, I decide, screw it. I'm just going to try open the door myself. I open it. House is unlocked, okay? I walk straight in, 5 PCs all across the walls, and one person sitting in the corner, tapping away, going... And he has a big afro head looking like Sideshow Bob, and he turns over, he says, oh, hey, I didn't know you were meant to be here. So this is my teammate Ross, and Ross is an American import. And he says, come in, come in. So I come in, I drag my bags, and Ross just says, oh yeah, your room's on the left, bro. Just put your bags in there. So I walk through the hallway up these 2 little steps, and I creep in and I turn left, and there is a room, and there is absolutely nothing in there. No bed, no shelves, no nothing. It is a square room with a tiny little window. So I'm basically in my own little jail cell, and up on the wall of said jail cell, there is a cardboard box, and in that box is my bed. But there's also a mattress up against the wall, which is great. I've got myself a mattress and I've got myself a bed frame to build. I'm now sitting on the floor of my room building this bed. And now here's another problem. There's no screwdriver. That's fine with me. I'll just go find one. We're in a big house. It's a 2-story house. So I'm just going to go around and search for a screwdriver. I walk out the door and I see my next teammate, and his name is Shock. And I say, hey, Shock. Hey, Udi. Didn't know you were going to be here. So 2 out of 2 people I've met today had no idea that I was going to be at their house living with them. So I say, hey, you got a screwdriver? And he's like, I don't think we have a screwdriver. Then I decide I'm going to build my bed with a knife. So I grab a knife out of the kitchen and I start ramming it into the holes of screws. I'm jamming it, metal's fraying everywhere. I end up ruining a bunch of the screws, and then I decide, you know what, screw it. For the rest of my time here, until they get me a screwdriver, I am not building my bed. So I place my mattress on the floor and I'm ready to go. No bed frame, mattress on the floor. I'm good to go. So I walk down, I leave my room, and I head to the gaming room. And it is now Shock's at his computer and Ross is at his computer. And they're both clicking away and they're saying, hey man, you can use that computer. That's Johnny's computer. And I'm like, who's Johnny? That's our coach. By the way, Johnny quit. Our coach quit. So you're telling me I joined a top level team. You didn't know I was going to be here. And now our coach has quit. So then comes down my teammate Paprise. And Paprise is just a quiet guy. No, that's it. He's just quiet. He walks down, places himself at the computer. He looks at me. He doesn't say a word, and he starts playing on his computer. Down comes Sybil. And Sybil is the guy I'm replacing of the team. Because he was underperforming, obviously, and I'm brought in as the young gun. The 18-year-old kid who's going to save things for everyone on the team and turn it around. Oh, hey, nice to meet you. He's a nice guy, honestly. He's a very, very nice guy. I start just logging in, getting all my things downloaded into my computer, and then comes down my final teammate, Trance. And Trance is also another import player from Canada. Holy moly, this man is the nicest person in the world. Toby, nice to meet you. And he also follows it up with the final line. I didn't know you were going to be here today. No one told me. All people in the house didn't know I was going to be there playing for their team. Anyways, I sit myself down at my computer and I just start practicing, and around comes dinner time. So dinner time is fantastic. I'm allergic to gluten and dairy. So I made it very, very, very clear to my manager. I said, hey, before I arrive, could you please make sure that there are some foods that I could eat? And they say, yeah. I get to the house. It's dinner time. I open the fridge. What do I see? Pasta, can't eat it. Cheese, can't eat it. Nothing in the house is edible to me. And I say, guys, like, this is awesome that I'm here, but is there any shops around here in the middle of the forest? Because I can't eat anything in the house. And they go, oh, our manager was going to come tomorrow to do shopping. I'm here now. What did they expect me to do? So Trance takes me to the bus stop, and I'm like, we have to get a bus. He was like, well, yeah, we're in the middle of the forest. What do you expect? So Trance and I take a bus all the way. It's like 20 minutes to the shops. We do some shopping and we take it home. We eat, we play some more games, and it's time for bed. And I go to bed. I sleep well and everything's okay. The next morning comes, and now it is time to get into elite practice mode. We're an esports team and our game is coming up in the next 4 days. So we get into practice and we now have a new coach. His name is Zoo. And I talked to Zoo about the Sybil situation, because Sybil obviously is the guy I'm replacing. I say, hey, do you know anything about like him? Like, is he staying in the house? But it turns out that Zoo didn't even know that Sybil was still in the house. So apparently he thought that Sybil was out of the house and wasn't gonna play. And he didn't know what to do about the situation because Sybil, no one broke it to him that he was getting replaced. And I'm sitting there knowing that I'm replacing this guy and kicking him out of his own return home from his gaming house. I don't know how to deal with this confrontation. He's massive. Eventually, push comes to shove. The time is up and the day has ended, and Sybil gets the news that he is getting kicked off the team. And the walls of the house are so thin, he gets on WoW and calls his girlfriend on Discord. And throughout the night, we can hear him bitching and moaning on Discord to his girlfriend about how the team is going to fail without him and that he's better than me. And everyone in the house can hear him saying these things about me. That night passes on and comes the next day. And Sybil quickly packs his things and leaves the team house. And you're probably thinking, okay, great. That wasn't that bad. You know, it was a little bit anxiety. The next thing to follow, the house starts falling apart. And when I say the house starts falling apart, I mean it's terrible. It's disgusting. We put the bins out one day. Then another week passes. We put that bins out another day. We put the bins out another week. 3 weeks roll past and we realize our bins aren't getting taken and it's getting bad and rancid. Like, we were eating a lot of fish. So one day, a guy from the government comes. Yo, hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? Nice to meet you. He says, hey, we're not taking your rubbish because the person who's, renting this place isn't paying their fees. If you don't take the rubbish and put it somewhere else, we're gonna fine you. So we call up the people who own the organization and we say, hey, what do we do? They tell us to take the rubbish and put it inside our house. And me as an 18-year-old gamer with a lot of common sense, I say, okay, that makes total sense. And me and my teammates carry this rancid, disgusting rubbish and put it in our kitchen, and we leave it there. It's there for a day, and the house kind of starts to stink a bit, and the second day comes, and the air is starting to get a bit gross. It was a little bit bad. Day number 3. I could put my hand through the air and you could grab it. I open my bedroom door, which is next to the kitchen, which is where the bins are kept, and I see 2 bright open windows, beams of light energizing these bags which contain the rubbish, and the stench and the heat was cooking the 3-week-old pile of rubbish. Ross, the American import of the team, he calls up the owner and he says, I am not going to play. I am not going to play League of Legends unless this is dealt with, okay? So the owner of the team is forced. He drives to the house and we watch as he comes into the kitchen, grabs the bags, each one by one by one, and puts them in his own car. Honestly, disgusting. But for us, problem solved. And that is the end of the kitchen problem. Now comes the final problem. And it was the last weeks of actual gameplay in the top league. At the time, we were last place. We were 8th. And I joined halfway through the split. We had some series that were close, but the team that I joined was so damn bad that no matter what we did, there was no chance ever. We lost every single game up until the final week of play. Remember Paprise? The guy who didn't say hello to me and he just kind of was mute. One day I woke up, I get down to the gaming room, and Paprise, all his things are gone. Eventually Ross wakes up and comes down. I'm like, hey Ross, what happened? Where is Paprise okay? Where's Paprise? And Ross just goes, oh yeah, yeah, he quit. I was like, what do you mean? We have 1 more week of competition. Where are you going? We have to find a replacement in 4 days before our final set of games. We have 4 days to pick up a replacement. We come to Pradith, and Pradith is our last hope. So Pradith flies in the next day on a whim, joins us, and we're actually having a really, really good set of practice. Our team with Pradith was honestly much better. We go to play our final matches and our final week of gameplay, and we are up against the best team in the entire region and get absolutely shit on. So that means we're 8th place. When you're in the last place, you have to play elimination matches. We have to verse 7th place, which is a team called Avant. We lose 3-2. They were 7th place in the OPL league. Then we thought, okay, We lose to them, it's fine. Because for us to get eliminated from the OPL, we had to lose to the first place team of the Academy League, of the OCS, the league that I came from. And my team finished second in the OCS. I thought my Academy team was better than this Tectonic team. Genuinely, they were better. I say, guys, this game is going to be much harder than Avant, and we're probably going to lose. And it turns out to be the greatest series of my life. But we lose 0-3. We get 3-0 swept and get absolutely decimated. The owners of Tectonic lose hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of points and ownership in the league. They get relegated, they get destroyed, and the whole organization is gone. They allow us to take everything they want. They let me take an air conditioner. They let me take all these things. I took my mattress that I slept on the entire time. By the way, never built the bed frame. Always slept on the mattress the entire time. And that is my experience with my first ever professional top level League of Legends team. Amugas, dun 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 dun.